we did Harinam every day, and we had Sunday feasts. And there's so many people in Tokyo. So gradually we were on TV and in magazines, and gradually everywhere we went, people go, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And then one day a box came. I didn't know anything about deity worship, but it was Lord Jagannath. Sure. And we didn't know too much. We made an altar, and we put them on the altar, and finally they got clothing, and then Srila Prabhupada came to Japan 2 times because all of the books were being printed in Japan up until about 1972. So he came to oversee the book printing. He sent Brahmananda to stay for a little bit. And so these deities, the first time Srila Prabhupada came to Japan, he had just given the biggest sannyasa initiation. And he brought all the sannyasis. We lived in this tiny little place. There was no room for me. I was the only Mataji in the temple. I was trying to be invisible, and all these young sannyasis, and I was sleeping out in the car. There was no room for me. And it was like really kind of embarrassing. But anyway, it was nice because Srila Prabhupada was there, and we got to also celebrate Vyasa Puja and Janmashtami. That's described in Borjan Prabhu's book, My Glorious Master, how we messed up on the Vyasa Puja because Srila Prabhupada said he wanted pushpa, which means flowers, and no one knew what pushpa was. Someone thought it meant rice. So somebody cooked a big pot of rice, and when it came time to offer the flowers, where are the flowers? We had a big pot of rice. And Srila Prabhupada actually left in the middle of the Vyasa Puja, and we thought this is the end of the world. Srila Prabhupada wasn't happy about it. And we thought, oh, we're finished now, you know. And but somehow or other they went to his apartment, and he said he would come the next day, we could try it again. And which we did, and he came like nothing had happened. He was smiling, and he said the reason he was upset because he had just initiated so many sannyasis, and not one of them went and really asked them how to do the ceremony properly. So he's teaching us this example. So the second time Srila Prabhupada came, I guess my so-called husband had been thinking about taking sannyas since his friend had taken sannyas. So I remember he came out and he said, I just asked Srila Prabhupada if I'd like to take sannyas. I said, oh. And he said, Srila Prabhupada said, I would have to give my permission. So I thought for a minute, and I said, okay. And, yeah, I was kind of detached there. But so then I had to go to another temple. The nearest temple was Hong Kong. So I went to Hong Kong, and I brought the Jagannath deities. Now I have these deities. I still have these deities. 42 years later, these deities. At the time, these deities were. We had even a Rathi altar in Japan. Even Japanese don't know we had a big Rathi altar. And these deities, the plan was that they were going to go to Hong Kong, and Borjan and his wife Jagatrini would take care of them. But in Hong Kong, they were talking about cutting off their wooden garlands, and I was saying, no, you can't cut the garlands off. And Borjan Prabhu said, you're so attached to them, you should keep these deities. But it hadn't really been authorized by Srila Prabhupada yet. From Hong Kong, I went with 2 devotees. We opened the temple in Manila in the Philippines, and after a few months I got really sick and went back. I decided to go back to America, and when I went back, I stopped in Los Angeles, and most people were still living in the temple, so I had Jagannath in this blue box in the Brahmacharya ashram, and everyone was saying, you shouldn't have your own deities. What are you doing? Most people didn't have their own deities. I said, this isn't proper. And everyone was saying, Prabhupada said this, Prabhupada said that. And the president was Jayatirath, and I remember I was crying, and he said, Prabhupada said, we don't want to make you cry, but Prabhupada said. And I was always too shy to talk around Srila Prabhupada, but I was going to get up the courage to ask him myself, because we could have darshan with Srila Prabhupada. So I went up for darshan, and I thought, I'm going to bring these Jagannath deities. So, so I brought the deities out. And after Srila Prabhupada asked me a few questions about how the preaching was going in the Philippines, I got the courage and I said, Srila Prabhupada, I have Lord Jagannath in this box and I want them to see you. And I opened the box and stood them up. And Srila Prabhupada had the biggest smile. He said, they are gorgeous. And I said, Srila Prabhupada, everyone's telling me I can't worship these deities. And he said, who's telling? I wrote all this down so I remember exactly what he said. I still have the paper. And then I actually said, but Srila Prabhupada, you said, and he just interrupted me. He said, never mind. You make Lord Jagannath your life and soul, and you will be happy your entire life. And then he said, so your husband has taken sannyas? I said, yes. He said, 2 times he said, then you just make Lord Balaram your son, Subhadra your daughter, and Lord Jagannath your husband. Right. He said, because every woman needs a husband, son, and a daughter. He also gave some instructions like don't divert your mind and treat them as God. He said take them wherever you go, inside or outside the temple. And I was thinking, outside the temple? I'm not going to be outside the temple. And at the end of the conversation, I said, Srila Prabhupada, is there any chance of me ever going back to Godhead? And he said, you just make Lord, he said, you just do what I told you and you will become fully liberated, Krishna conscious, and go back to Godhead this very lifetime. I'm not saying I'm doing anything like that. But so after that, wherever I went, Lord Jagannath was on the altar. He's been on the altar in Calcutta, in Bombay, in Dallas, in Toronto, in Chicago, in Detroit, up until, you know, I'm getting older now, so now I keep them in my room. Because he did say, she can keep them in the room and offer fruit, water, and tulsi. And maybe that's all I have time for, but anyone that would like to talk to me, I really would need some association because I'm the only woman in the ashram in Detroit, so please come and talk to me.
So I know we have some more time.